Hello, good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. I'd like to welcome all of you, our usual participants who are always online with us. I wish to welcome all of you for today's training. This is the ninth day of the 1 month free professional diploma training in human rights and social justice. And we are on the day 9 now. And I want to appreciate all of you for your dedication, your commitment to be part of this training. The training is being provided by the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management, and we are providing it for free for our Facebook and YouTube followers or subscribers. So I want to appreciate all of you that have been taking time to connect to this training. Thank you very much, and you're welcome for the ninth day of this training. This kind of training has been going on in the institute for the past several months now. We started this kind of training in July, and we have been on it for almost 2 years now. And All right, we have been having network issues, but I hope we are back now. So let's continue. So I'd like to welcome all of you for taking time to be part of today's training. Like I said, this global peace and conflict management, and this the day 9 of the free 1 month professional training in human rights and social justice. And we have been providing this kind of training for several months now, starting with peace education in July, emotional intelligence, alternative dispute resolution, peace and sustainable development, peace and conflict management, and we are doing human rights and social justice now. So this is the level of within this few months, and about um, and above 1,000 certificates have been issued through this training so far. And I want to appreciate those of you that have been effective in participation, and you have been participating effectively. We want to appreciate all of you for taking time to connect to this training. And especially we have Paul Oka, who is always consistent, always join first in this meeting. All right. So we have also from Nigeria, we have Bobby Monday, also from Nigeria. We have Ada Williams from Nigeria. We have Shegun from Nigeria. We have Pat Wilson from Nigeria as well. And then we have Jen Wakesa from Kenya. We have Joy also Gachu from Kenya as well. We have a new name here that look like Chinese name, Jachi Gani. I don't know what it's a Chinese man. And then we have Matthew from we have um, we have Inora from Nigeria as well. We have Jonas from Nigeria, Bayelsa, and several others are connecting through this training. And I want to appreciate all of you. Everyone from Sokoto. I was in Sokoto some years ago. Very nice place. So we have Lawrence from Zambia. So we want to appreciate all of you for taking time to connect to this training. And we hope that you will share the link with someone, invite them to be part of the training. Let them know that the training is going on here and they can benefit from this training for free. They're not going to pay anything to be part of the training. So it's a free training. So encourage them to be part of it. Encourage them to be part of it. So put the link on your wall, invite someone, tag them, let them know that it's for free. They can participate with someone. Don't be stingy, just share the link, put it on your wall. It will attract someone to come and join. All right. So just put it on your wall. You attract people to come and participate. Come into a training without sharing the link. Share the link with someone. Let them know that something is happening here. Let them come and participate in the training. All right. And God will bless you. Today we're going to look at um, human rights advocacy. How do we advocate for the rights of the people? So, how do we advocate for the rights of the people? Talking about human rights advocacy. how can we advocate for the rights of the people? That's what we'll be looking at today. Human rights advocacy. How do you carry out advocacy to agitate or to promote or to advance the rights of the people, right? The right of people. That's why we have human rights uh, activists, right? They're always carrying out activities that promotes the rights of the people. So how can you do this? How can you conduct this kind of activities? What is expected of you, and how do you go about doing it? Do we have kind of some case studies that we can look into and see how successful with those case studies in advancing the cause of humanity? So these are the things that we'll be looking at today in this training. So, like I say, do way to share the link with someone, invite them to be part of today's training. So, we are going to look at under this unit, we'll be looking at grassroots activism and community-based approaches. So, we'll be optimizing those grassroots, you know, activisms and then community-based approaches that you can, use to advance the rights of the people in your community, in your environment. Are you the point now? It may not necessarily be at the national level. It may not necessarily be at the global level. It can be at your community where you are. Start from there. Are the rights of the people being denied? Are there facilities, amenities that the people are supposed to enjoy that they are not enjoying? How can you advocate for them so that they can enjoy these resources, so that they can enjoy those privileges that are due for them? So you have to advocate for them, right? You have to advocate for them. You have to advocate for them, right? So I'm looking at introduction. So grassroots activism, that is localized bottom-up movements driven by individuals or communities to address social, political, and environmental issues. So these are the issues that basically we should see people advocating for. All right, issues that concerns people's social lives, what issues that concerns political issues or environmental issues, because we are talking about the issue of climate change now. Many people advocating for you know compensation one way or the other in relations to the impact of climate change. Do you understand? So those kind of issues are coming on social amenities that are needed to be provided that have not been provided, maybe bad rules. People come out to protest and say we deserve better. So you see some of our activists in Nigeria here. Um, you can see one of them, Brother Mike. I don't know. People, some of them you know him. They are Edo Benin guy. Do you understand? One day he was bathing on one of the roads that passed through Benin. I get the point now. He went and stood in the water lodge on the road, very big one, and he was bathing there to, agitate. That's protest. It's human rights. He was advocating. He was protesting. Do you understand? And that is the best way to protest. He must not necessarily go and carry armor, all of that. But he used that strategy and passed a message. Do you understand? And we have seen such kind of actions. People go on hunger strike. Do you understand? People go on hunger strike for several months. Do you understand? Because they are protesting that certain change should occur. Do you understand? So we have such kind of activities happening around. Do you understand? So that's what it is. So community-based approaches, strategies where communities actively participate in identifying problems and implementing solutions is what we're talking about here, all right? So strategies where communities actively participate in identifying problems and implementing solutions that affect their lives. So this is when we're talking about community-based approaches, right? So this is what it is. So both uh, emphasize local empowerment, participatory decision making, and long-term sustainability. So let's look at some of the issues. Let's look at characteristics of what grassroots activism. When we're talking about grassroots activism, are there any attributes, any features that you can easily say that this is a typical example of community or grassroots based activism? So let's look at it. One, they have local focus. Okay, they have local focus. It's being rooted in specific community issues, such as maybe environmental issues, like environmental degradation, social inequality, or land rights. Do you understand? When we're talking about environmental degradation, we're talking about issues like things that happen in the Niger Delta where they were agitating for oil issue of oil spillage and all of those things, right? Environmental degradation. So the people came out. The Psalms is uh, uh, what do you call it? Several people, several individuals in the Niger Delta, some were even killed as a result of protests who were agitating for the rights of their people. Do you understand? Then we talk about the militancy activities in the Niger Delta. It was also a form of protest, you know, because they felt that people, since they are people that did not carry arm, were not heard, they decided to carry arm. We're not saying people should go and carry arm just to advance their rights. You can still go through the the this peaceful way of advocating for the rights of your people, and you will be given attention. The problem we have in our country is that we have leadership that does not listen. That is the problem. And sometimes it's the reason why people carry arms to do some of these things. If you have a leadership that listens and pay attention to the yearnings of the people and what the people are saying concerning their welfare, then definitely it will not resort to a situation whereby you carry arms. Do you understand? Or young people will go and carry arms. Do you understand? But most of the times our leaders doesn't listen to what the people are saying. And this leads to or sometimes led to issues whereby young people carry arms and begin to protest. Do you understand? Or to advocate for their rights. So it must necessary reach to that level, but you can go through the peaceful way and still pass your message and get the result you want to get. Do you understand? You can do a simple form of protest like roadblocks and all of that, and it will take forever. So it will call for massive attention. Do you understand? No harm, you will not destroy anybody, anything, but that kind of frustration alone can give serious attention. Do you understand? And then you get the result you want. So they are locally focused. Do you understand? They have local focus. Another characteristic of grassroots activism is that they have decentralized leadership. That is, it's often led by individuals or small groups rather than formal organizations. Do you understand? Small groups. People can just say we are the youth, community youth forum. Do you understand? They will come up and say we are the community youth forum. Um, they will go to youth forums. Do you understand? They will just come and then start agitating. Not necessarily being an organization, a registered institution like the Institute of Global Peace coming to agitate. No, not necessarily. Do you understand? But groups, it could be women standing up for their rights and demanding for 14% or 40% affirmative action. But that is at the national level. But at the grassroots, issues that affect women, maybe for instance, domestic violence. Do you understand? Women will come out and say, we don't want domestic violence in our community anymore. And they gather themselves and begin to protest. They can give it a name, right? Ogoni Women Development Association. Do you understand? Not necessarily registered organization, but even if they register, it's still community based. Do you understand? So that's what it is. So they come out and register. So they have decentralized leadership. That's number two. Number three, they have what we call collective action. Do you understand? They possess this collective action. So they mobilize communities to demand change through protest, petitions, and campaigns. Do you understand? So you can go on, kind of a certain campaign you can do and write a petition. Sometimes we do see online petitions, right? Some of us have participated in such kind of petition to call for certain things. Do you understand? Why the issue of NSAS protest was going on, we were still also protesting. Do you understand? Online, signing petition for the scrapping of the SARS unit of the police in Nigeria, and I think it went well. Do you understand? And that unit was disbanded. So this is how you protest, not necessarily carrying arm. Carrying arm means that you are endangering your life as well, and they endangering the lives of the very people that you want to fight for. Do you understand? Because when the police or the military step in your community, anybody can be a target. Even young people who are not necessarily protesting can be affected. So what is the essence of carrying arm? So you don't need to carry arm, all right? Use peaceful means like we have mentioned here, protest. If you want to protest, make it peaceful. Most of the times, protest in a country doesn't go the way it's expected. They target peaceful protests, but once they are on the street, either we have what we call counter protesters, or sometimes the police themselves sometimes start the trouble, and then sometimes we experience, you know, violent protests. So, but we don't need to go violent. Do you understand? Just go the peaceful way. Protest, marching. Maybe at most you can, if you don't want to do roadblocks, you can just move by the side and march straight on a single line, singing, chanting, and all of that. And it can still send a message across the country or across the people that you want the message to get to. Do you understand? So collective action. So people come together to protest, petitions, and campaigns. Do you understand? Then empowerment oriented focuses on building the capacity of marginalized groups to advocate for their rights. Do you understand? So one of the elements or one of the attributes of community or grassroots activism is that they provide um, skills, knowledge for those that are affected to be able to speak out and call for attention concerning their matter. Do you understand? So you can empower people, train them, let them know what they can do when their rights are being threatened. Do you understand? So you can go to a community, for instance, now you go and tell them so issue. Do you understand? So you have to get your this thing, get your this thing. This is what you need to do this and do that. Do you understand? It's empowerment. So once they have the information and they need and the skills, they need to go agitating for what concerns them. Then I can tell you that they will get result for their issues. Do you understand? So adaptability. So this form of community or this form of activism, grassroots activism, um, they're adaptable, all right? They're flexible and they're responsive to local context and emerging challenges because as issues are emerging, they are trying to address them, okay? So they are flexible. So it's not just a kind of a very structured approach that must be. attended to, but they attend to issue as they arrive. Do you understand? So, and they use different approaches. So that's what makes them to be very, very high adaptable. Do you understand? They are flexible. They attend to issue as they arrive, and of course, they deploy different strategies to address those issues as they come. So it is like that. Are you gonna point out? So let's look at importance of grassroots activism. Why should we focus on grassroots activism? Because it is very important. All issues are local. If they say politics is local, the all issues are what? Local. Do you understand? Even global peace we are talking about is still local. All right? Because for us to achieve global peace, we must first and foremost achieve community peace. And so that's why we must take the message of peace to our various communities, not just to to the international community. No, let what we are doing at the community level send strong message at the international community. Let them make references of what you are doing locally. Do you understand? So that's why we are trying to have state. We have like in Nigeria now, we have state chapters, right? We once we have those country representative, they will also adopt the same approach of having state chapters, local government chapters. I don't know how you call local government in your country or your state, a state. Some of you call it county, some of you call it whatever. I don't know. But whatever name you use in your own country, once we have our country chapters operational, you can begin to decentralize the activities in such a way that it will be community focused. Do you understand? And then people can get engaged in community activities to promote peace. Do you understand? So peace itself must be achieved at the community level before we can realize the global peace. Do you understand? So that's why it is. So this institution are very, very, or this kind of activism, grassroots activism is very important in several ways because it promotes what? Inclusive change. It promotes inclusive what? Change. A change that seeks the welfare of everybody. A change that is not just personalized, individualized, but it's a collective change. A change that ensures that all the community members benefit from what they are trying to achieve. Do you understand? So this ensures that the voice of marginalized and unrepresented groups are heard. That is it. Do you understand? Inclusive uh, change. So those that have not been receiving dividends or whatever that is being provided also receive justice. I'm not talking about a system whereby um, like in my country, for instance, now, so many tribes, so many regions have been marginalized to some extent. Do you understand? And we are wondering how can we come out of these issues? Do you understand? And sometimes we make efforts to come out of this issue. Someone will just come and destroy such efforts. It has been back, forth, and front, and things are just getting from, you know. But we can, but people are still agitating and some of them even are violent. There are some violent agitations. You know. So another importance of grassroots activism is that it holds uh, power accountable. It holds power accountable. That is, the whole people in authorities accountable. Do you understand? Challenges government or corporate policies that harm. All right. Movement, like for instance, movement against mining in indigenous territories. Of course, you understand. You have to hold them accountable. They have to do something. In my street where I am in Abuja here, for instance, now we have mining site down now. Do you understand? And people, the companies that are used to all this mining, they carry heavy trucks, and they're always spoiling roads. Do you understand? So once in a while, they use those gravels that they are mining. They use them to put on the roads to make sure that we have a smooth road to move. Sometimes they even used to water the road so that the streets so that dust will reduce. Do you understand? So these are the things. And so it's and if the community so want to make other demands, they can still make demands depending on the the impact of the activities of the mining industries and how it's affecting the common people. Do you understand? So that's what it is. So they hold power accountable. Do you understand? Then another thing is that they build what social solidarity, social what solidarity, because it strengthens community bonds. Yes, through collective action, through collective what action, strengthen community bonds through collective action. So it's not just an individual thing; it's our thing. You understand? It's our thing. So we must find a way of getting the result. So that is just it. So it's not just my thing; it's our thing. Do you understand? So we must address it. We must address it. So drive systemic change. So often catalyzes larger policies, reforms, or global movements. Do you understand? There are some movements that sometimes they are global. They may start locally, but before you know it, it becomes a global issue. When the issue of return our gays, the Chibo gays kidnapping issue came, return our gay, before you know it became a global movement that even Michelle Obama at that time also joined forces to protest for such kind of demands. You understand? But even though those ones we know that there was some political interest involved, but at the same time, it is possible that this kind of movement can become, you know, a regional movement. It can become international movement. Do you understand? Yes. The issue of Black Lives Matters in America making global impacts. Do you understand? So these are the issues. So let's look at some of the community-based approaches or principles that you can deploy to make sure that community activism or grassroots activism is effective. One is participation, all right? So you involve all the stakeholders, all right? Involve all the stakeholders, all the community members at every stage, from problem identification to solution implementation. Do you understand? So whatever that you have in common to let them know and to do, all right, you help them to do it. Do you understand? It's very important. So participation is key. When you get people involved in the identification and in formulation of policies or solutions, they can work together to ensure the implementation of that solution. Do you understand? So you have to get everybody involved, all the members of the community, get them involved. Do you understand? And by so doing, it will make them to, work towards the realization and actualization of the solution that you are proposing. And then we'll talk about ownership. Yes, it encourages community members to take responsibility for projects to ensure sustainability. I get the point now. So if the community members are not carried along, how can they take ownership of the solution you are proposing? And how can they sustain it afterwards? So it's not just when the implementation is done, but the sustainability of that implementation or that idea, that solution is very, very key. Because most of the time, people who implement solutions, sometimes they're not there. So, but the community must continue to drive its sustainability. And so, if they're not being carried along, how will they do it? They will look at it as their thing and not our thing. Do you understand? So it will affect the implementation and the success, and of course, the sustainability of that uh, issue or solution. So collaboration, partner with stakeholders, take responsibility of partnering with stakeholders, including the NGOs, government, and private sectors in your community. So those are willing to cooperate with you collaborate with them, and then bring solutions. Do you understand? Government institutions. I'm not talking about government institutions in our country where they are always reluctant to do so. Sometimes you approach them or you are trying to approach them. You are putting even every strategy and even that will attract them to come to you, but they just withdraw. Do you understand? Sometimes they feel like you are calling them to come and ask for money. All right. So what we'll do next year is that we'll try to use some strategy to invite some of them close. But if they did not give us attention, so what we'll do next year is that we begin to do solidarity visit and or advocacy visit. Do you understand? Maybe this is what we'll do. Maybe if we can schedule such kind of meeting, maybe they will give us audience so that we'll talk to them and see how we can work together to address some issues because there are some issues that we want to address. Hmm. And those agencies that are involved, we must get to them to make sure that some issues are being addressed. Do you understand? And some initiatives are being carried out so that we make sure that the message of peace is getting down, down, down to the grassroots. Do you understand? So these are the issues. And in case you are in an office that you think that we can work together, that we can do something together, please don't hesitate to notify us so that even if you don't want to call us, notify us so that we can write. Uh-huh. And then from there we'll start the process. Do you understand? So some of you here are in offices that has to do with some things that I'm talking about here, that we can do something in common. Offices, for instance, now offices like the National Orientation Agency, offices like the National Youth Service Corps, office institutions like Ministry of Education. Do you understand? At the state or at the federal, whatever level. Do you understand? We have Ministry of Information, Ministry of Culture and Tourism, ministries of several of them. Do you understand? Some of them can be corporate training. Yes, all of these organizations can come and corporate trainings. Some of you are organizations, your union association. If you belong to any of the unions, can come and train you on conflict mediation and several activities. So many things. So let us know. You can notify us. You can also invite us, or you let us know. We can write a proposal and then we'll begin to collaborate and do something together. Do you understand? So, and there will be mutual benefits, of course. So, context sensitivity. So, tailor solutions to social, cultural, and environmental context of the community because these solutions you are proposing are not going to be outside the context. They are going to be within the community on the issues that affect the community and not issues that are outside. They are issues that are within the community and you're trying to address it. So they are contextualized. Do you understand? These are solutions that are contextualized and they provide target specific solutions to the community. So this is what it is. So these are the some of the principles and approaches that you're going to put in place to make sure that whatever our community activities or activism you're going to put in place, you're going to carry out. So let's look at methods used in grassroots activism and community-based approaches. One is advocacy campaigns. Methods advocacy campaigns raise awareness and influence public opinions through media, petitions, and rallies. You can organize rallies, you can organize media briefing, press conferences, you understand, petitions to raise advocacy campaigns. Do you understand? So these are the issues. Participatory planning. Participatory planning involves communities in planning infrastructure, resource management, or social programs. For instance, now when you're talking about community-led water conservation project, you want to build a dam in the community, involve the community people, carry them along, let them know what is going to happen in their community. Let them have an idea of what is going to happen in their community and how the project should be constructed, where it should be sited, and how this project is going to benefit them. Let them be aware. Let them participate. Don't just come and don't just come and dig a borehole. Then you organize a commission position in my country. That's how they do. They just go and sign a borehole, go and commission. The next day, community people bang, 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 bang. Before you know it, borehole spoil. Who is going to repay it? No repay, nothing. And that's how the project ends. You understand? Capacity building. Train community members in advocacy leadership and technical skills. Train community members in what? Advocacy, leadership, and technical skills. Let them have some technical skills to address some of their issues. These people are not just, don't feel that they're ignorant all the time. No. Don't feel that they are community people, village people, they cannot do. And when you're talking about community, sometimes community is not necessarily rural. No. Grassroots is not necessarily mean rural. No. You understand? So I think we're not misunderstanding this issue. So when we talk about grassroots, it's not necessarily refers to as rural community. Do you understand? It has to do with where you are, right? If you are in an estate, whatever that affects your estate is what we're talking about here. So it's a community. Do you understand? Estate are community. Do you understand? So that's what it is. So whatever you can do to make sure that your community receives solutions to problem, you do it. All right. So you do it. Sorry, I'm trying to arrange my light here. They took light, so trying to arrange my ring light so that we'll continue with the training. So talk about non-violence direct actions. All right. So sit-ins, matches like in what we have in the southeast. Although I know that the southeast people sometimes they cause trouble, but they have what we call sit at home. All right. So that sit at home movement is for them to tell their people you are not going to open shop today. It doesn't matter how many millions you are going to lose. For the sake of what we are agitating for, don't go to work. Don't open shop. Do you understand? So in the whole of Southeast, you don't dare open it. People that tried it, some died already because the guys mean serious business on this matter. Do you understand? All right. So I remember when we went for induction in Enugu, and I think on the eve of the induction, it was sit at home. So we're in Enugu, and then towards the end of, I think it was, uh, I think towards the end of the month. So, and then we met the situation there. So, and we didn't know much how it affects the situation. And for us to even eat food on that day, we have to sneak and buy food. Do you understand? That is what happened. We have to sneak. That's one restaurant. I don't want to call the name so that they will not go and target the restaurant, because if they target the restaurant next time, I will not buy food again. So, but there was one restaurant. So one of the eateries, you know, point out. So they were selling food, but they locked their shop. They locked the door actually. So, but it was a coordinated activities between the security, those people that are within the plazas or the premises. The signal, I noticed some movement, so I approached them And they say, yes, you can buy. So they find a way, open the door for us to enter, bought the food, and disappear. Do you understand? That's how we managed to eat that day. Otherwise, we would have been seriously dead with hunger on that day. But that's how it is. Sit at home. Do you understand? So people sit at home. Matches, you can march on the street and make noise, right? And symbolic protest to draw attention to issues. Do you understand? So these are the issues. What I'm saying here is that in my country, for instance, I don't know much in your country, but in my own country, we have a very stubborn leadership. Stubborn leadership in the sense that our leaders doesn't listen to people's agitations. And so even when sometimes they listen, they don't take the right approaches to address the issue. If people are crying for marginalization, what are you supposed to do? Are you not to create opportunities for inclusivity, to include them into governance? This is all what these people are talking about. If it's about rotational presidency, why can't we give them opportunity to also be part of the presidency? You understand? They are contributing to the development of this country, the economy of this country. It's one of the regions that does massive manufacturing. Do you understand? When it comes to manufacturing, the Southeast is one of the one of the regions that massively, you know, carry out manufacturing activities. And you want to get this kind of region, you don't want to give them opportunity in the areas of governance. No, it's not fair. And I understand why they're protesting. So it doesn't, and that's why I say we need to go for true national reconciliation. Do you understand? True national reconciliation can give way to some of this, can give way to some of these things, grudges that we're keeping as a nation, because we have national grudges that we're keeping. Do you understand? It's not correct. One region against another. No, it's not correct. One tribe against another. No, it's not correct. We cannot progress like that. We have to learn from the experience of South Africa. We have to learn from the experience of the people in Rwanda. I think I saw one judgment that was passed in France of recent. A France Cameroonian who based in France wrote a book considering the genocide that happened in Rwanda some times ago, and he was trying to downgrade or downplay what happened. Do you understand? And then try to say that what was happening was just overemphasized and all those stuff. And in the book, he made several um, degrading statements and all of those stuff. So I think one of the NGOs or a foundation, also a human rights something institution, they took the guy to court, and the guy was they were fine. Do you understand? Right. So this kind of activities can happen. Do you understand? People can be uh, dealt with. So these are the issue, right? So resource mapping and monitoring. So you have to understand that so position or land use. So let's look at some of the examples of grassroots movement and community-based approaches that works. Environmental protection, Chipko movement in India. Chipko movement in India. Um, uh, Prashant, Prashant, do you know about this movement? Chipko movement. CHIPKO movement in India. Villagers, especially women, hug trees to prevent deforestation. Women hug what trees to prevent what deforestation. So you can see as simple as that. You go and hug a tree and you say, you don't dare, don't near this tree, don't near this forest. Do you understand? So Standing Rock protests in US, indigenous activists resisted the Dakota Access Pipeline. Do you understand? So all of those things. Social justice. Black Lives Matters in America, grassroots movement addressing racial inequality and police violence in America. Do you understand? So it's very important. So this is what we're talking about here. So health initiatives, community-based malaria prevention program in sub-Saharan Africa, education and advocacy, local campaign to improve literacy or ensure girls access to education in rural areas. Do you understand? Disaster risk reduction. Coastal communities in Bangladesh developing cycling shelters and early warning systems. All of these are some of the things that we're talking about here. So let's look at some of the challenges faced by grassroots activism and community-based approaches. Limited resources, they don't have enough resources like funding and technical expertise and institutional support sometimes are not available. Do you understand? They're not available and it's sometimes become a challenge. Sometimes they don't even have legal um, practitioners to help them put them through. Do you understand? So it's a challenge. And then resistance from authorities. Sometimes government mobilize security forces to go and attack them, use force on the community people, and sometimes it results into violence. Do you understand? So those issues, internal conflicts, differing priorities or power struggle within communities. Sometimes community people themselves are divided. There are people that are going north, there are some that are going south. There are some that have other priorities other than what the other people are looking at. And or maybe sometimes the issue of leadership, who is going to take leadership, who is going to say we are the one that are responsible, who is going to say if the government come, who are they going to meet, me or you? You understand? So sometimes it becomes another problem. Sustainability issues. Maintaining momentum and community involvement over time can be challenging because sometimes people will come out today, tomorrow, next you begin to see the number reduce, and then the momentum dies, and before you know it, over time nobody talk about it again. I get a point now. So these are the issues. And that is one of the tactics and strategies that our government in Nigeria sometimes use. You continue to do, they will not give you attention. You continue to do, they will not give you attention. So over time, you get tired and forget about it. You understand? So it is a challenge. So if you must embark upon, you must be committed to make sure that you bring it to pass no matter what happens. So the role of external support. So NGOs and civil society provide funding, technical expertise, and advocacy support. This is where sometimes we come in. Like as an institute, we can come. If we don't have money to give you, we can still train you. You understand? Can empower you with skills and knowledge and how to do it. Right? And where we have money to support, we support. Do you understand? Where we have money to give humanitarian aid, we give. So media amplifies grassroots voices and garner wider attention. So the media can also carry out investigative journalism over the matter and report it, and then it amplifies. They are here for. Do you understand? We talk about other technologies like social media platforms can facilitate mobilization and global solidarity. Of course, this where the likes of social, very, 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 very black, dark man also comes in. Do you understand? So they come in, they protest, they use social media channels to agitate and then sometimes they get results, sometimes they land themselves into trouble, but still get the result at the end of the day, finally. And so, oh, it's a result. Do you understand? So tools like Jeeps, like GIS, also help communities monitor and manage resources. All right. So what are the strategies to put in place to make sure that it is a success? Community empowerment, building networks, advocacy for policy change, inclusive leadership, monitoring and evaluation. Right. So you have to put some of those strategies to make sure that they comes to help to build a successful movement. Do you understand? So that's what it is. Let's look at advocacy strategies as another topic. Advocacy what strategies? Advocacy is the a deliberate process of influencing decisions, policies, and practices to bring about social, political, or environmental changes. So, effective advocacy often combines multiple strategies, including legal, political, and media based campaigns to achieve its goals. So, let's look at those strategies. All right. So, let's look at legal campaigns. So, you are using laws and judicial systems to challenge injustice or enforce rights or demand accountability. There are some people that are in prison today that they have no business to be in prison. Some people are awaiting trials more than 10 years. They are still in prison. Nobody has tried them. They are just in prison awaiting trial. I get a point. Somebody, like there's somebody who in my church today give testimony of how he was released from the prison after the senior pastor of the church visited uh, the prison and all of that. I get a point now. And then when they went to court, discovered that this guy served 11, he spent 11 years in prison. Yes, for the offense that he committed, actually. But he was still on the waiting trial. And so the judge just looked at him and said, you have spent 11 years in prison already. So it's as good as you serve your term. So there's no need sending you to jail again. I get a point now. And that's how he was released. And he went. So many people are in prison like that, awaiting trial. Waiting trial for what? How long? 11 years. 11 good years. You incarcerate somebody for 11 years and you keep the person in. But if it's a political issue, damn, it will go. That's why we're having a justice forum in our institute. We want to have a justice forum. We wanted to inaugurate, but some people don't like accepting responsibilities. They just feel that. But we cannot get a good society when we don't accept responsibilities. Do you understand? Sometimes when we call for these things, they feel like it's work, it's responsibility. Yeah. And the institute doesn't have money now to provide most of the logistics. So sometimes it makes it so difficult. If they used to have money, we can buy a car meant for that. So we can fuel it. All you can do is you go address these issues. If the issue of going to court, coming back, we have official car that will be taking the legal team that will be going and coming and going on other investigative issues. Do you understand? And when that is not on ground yet, it seems as if not to come and suffer. But we have to suffer to get the what we want at the end of the day. But I know that we'll get to that point whereby things can be provided, and those who have the heart to participate in some of these things can help to solve some of these problems. Do you understand? It's very, very important. We must do it. I am doing what I'm doing today simply because I have passion. You understand? You can be a lawyer and yes, we have those lawyers that say they are human rights activists. Do you understand? So those ones can go to the extent of sacrificing, but it's not every lawyer that is an activist. And of course, they may not be willing to sacrifice anything. And for them, They have to get business, get money, and do all those stuff. But it's not all the time that it's money. If it's money, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing here now. Look at the impact we have made so far for some months now. From July to this period now, we have issued over 1,000 certificates. And if we, the people are going to write exams today for peace and conflict management, which we are anticipating to get more people participate in the exams. So what will happen? It means that we'll be having more than 1,500. And before we finish this one, and then you write your exams, we'll be having over 2,000 certificate issue across different continents. This is the impact we are making in our own little way. Do you understand? I am, I use my money. I don't want to talk about it. Do you understand? It's sacrifice. It's just sacrifice. We are doing it for humanity's sake. I get a point now. It's not about anything. We want peace because I know that if I have peace, it does not only benefit me, it benefits my children, it benefits the general society, and then of course we can live our lives, explore opportunities, fulfill destinies. I get a point now. But if a bullet take me today, whatever vision, whatever dreams I have, I cannot fulfill them. I get a point on. So this is the reason why we are doing what we are doing. So that we'll end violence everywhere. Look at those children in Gaza that have been killed. Will they fulfill any, if they were having any dreams? Are those dreams fulfilled? If they have ever dreamed of becoming anything in their lives, will they achieve that? Not possible. They have died, they have gone forever. Even if you were a practicing lawyer, you were a practicing doctor, and then a bullet hit you, will you still practice? Will you still come and read the laws? You will tell us what the law says? No. And that's why we prioritize peace above all other things. You understand? So, this is our motivation. That's why every day, even when I'm tired, when I'm so exhausted, I have to sit here and do it. I get a point now. So these are the issue. So we have to do it. In any way you feel it's possible for you to contribute to make peace possible in our world, we have to do it. If we refuse to do it, when conflict comes, it will affect us. We shy away from responsibility, but when the disaster comes, it affects you. It affects your children. It affects everything you have. If you doubt me, go and ask people that experience war, armed conflict. Let them tell you their experience. Look at people in Syria. See how they are celebrating. Why? Because they knew what they experienced 11 years in conflict. It has not been easy. Ask Somalia. How is Somalia faring? For those of you that are from Somalia in this class, how is Somalia faring? One of the countries that have been so much devastated in armed conflicts. And the country is it? How good is it? Who among us here dream to go to Somalia for any reason? I get a point now. Look at countries like South Sudan. What is happening there? In Sudan, they're just destroying themselves now. I get a point now because of some few interests. Look at Libya. Look at what Libya became at some point because of whether internal or external influences or whatever. But before an external interest penetrates your country and destroy it, there must be internal collaborations. Do you understand? And that's what happened. You destroy your country. So I'm telling you, if you go to the last I visited Meduguri or recent. Yes, the city is somehow free, like Meduguri is somehow free, but there's still that fear in the air that of anything happening anytime. I get a point now. So please, if we can do whatever we can do it. Sacrifice. It's about sacrifice. Life generally is about sacrifice. I know some of you here have good intentions, even towards the institute. I know. Do you understand? You want to support the institute in one way or the other, as much as God can help you to do it. There are some of you that are reaching out to me saying, "Ah, give me your account number, give me the institute account number. I will do something. I'll do something. I'll do something." Yeah. We know that you have good intentions towards the institution to support what we are doing, and we are grateful that such kind of thing is coming up. So by the time we have so many number of people doing that, then we will do many things. We reach out to many people. Many lives will be impacted. You get the point now. So that's why it is. It's not for myself. If it's for myself, I would have monetized this training and get food for my family and settle the matter. Matter ends. You understand? It's not just about me. So legal campaigns. So if you are a lawyer, I challenge you today. Do something. There are some people that are in prison. I'm telling you the truth. You need to visit the prison and see how they are rotting there. And some of them are waiting trial for 11 years. Why? Some simply because they cannot afford somebody even to represent them. They cannot afford to get a lawyer to represent them. And you are here. Friend Mozu saying you are lawyers, you are this, you are SAN, senior advocate of Nigeria or whatever. So what have you achieved with that? How many people have you freed on your account? I'm not challenging that, but I'm saying that if you use that title only to get money and benefit you and your family and establish business for yourself alone, you have not achieved anything. Use that help to free people that are incarcerated, whether for a crime they have committed or they have not committed, but you mercy should speak for them. Do you understand? That's what I have to say. Legal campaigns. So in the institute we have the Justice Forum. So if you're a member of the institute, you can join the Justice Forum and let's see how we can intervene in some of this situation. That's it. And for those of you that will come to join the membership of the institute later on, know that that forum is there if you're a legal practitioner or you are a what do you call it? You specialize in arbitration, you can also participate, or mediation, you can still participate, join that platform. You understand? So political campaigns. So engaging with policymakers, government institutions, and political structures to influence public policy and decision making. Right? So you can do that. You can write to the National Assembly, you can write to your state houses or assemblies, let them do something for things that you want them to change in your community. All right. We have state charters. State charters can use the institute. You can use the institute letterhead and write them. So far as it's a matter that you feel, although when you before you send that, we have to look into it so that we take a thorough observation before you send it, so that will not be implicated on something that is not. And then even the country representative, when the time comes, you can still do that. I get a point on in your own country, let there something positive must be achieved. Then media-based campaigns. So media institution can also, you know, leverage traditional and digital media to shape public opinions, raise awareness, and mobilize support. You understand? Some of these media institutions have to come up. We're supposed to even be publicizing what we are doing here now. So that many people will know what we are doing and how we are doing it. And that's why sometimes we ask you to share these things. Those of you that are participating on this training, we ask you to share the link to people, put it on your wall. Let people know that something is going on. It will benefit them. You may never can tell how this program will go a long way to change somebody's life completely. You understand? So let's do it. So media-based campaign. So let's use and we are reaching out to you. Some of you, I call names from India, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Gambia, Kenya, Cameroon. If it were a physical class, will you be here? This is what we're using the media to impact our world, social media. The apps that we use to do this training, It's costing us more than $50 monthly to subscribe it. Do you understand? More than $50 monthly to subscribe it. This is what we are doing so that we can reach out to you. Without it, maybe we cannot be able to organize this kind of training like this. So these are the issues. So media based, so in your own way. When we are doing something, when we are live like this, share the link to people. You never can tell who will come through this link that you have shared, benefit from this training, and cause massive change in some community. You may share somebody who is maybe a terrorist associate, may see this training, join it, and after the training change his mindset. I cannot be a terrorist again. I cannot be a kidnapper again. I cannot be a rapist again. I cannot be a criminal again as a result of this training. I get a point on. So that's why you share the link. I know the reason why I'm saying it. It's a kind of attraction. It attracts people to come. You want to know what is going on here. So what are those legal advocacy strategies that you can use? Right? Let's look at some of the legal advice approaches that you can take. We have litigation. You may decide to file a lawsuit to address injustice or enforce rights. Yes, you can do it. You never know. Litigation. You can also advocate for legal reforms, campaigns to change or create laws that uphold justice and equity. You understand? Strategic legal actions like filing public interest litigation to set legal precedents, all right? Or legal aid and counseling. You can also provide those kind of things. All right. So it's very, very important. Yes, to understand that these things can be time consuming. This is so I'm trying to mention some of the challenges. Time consuming and legal outcomes also depends on the judiciary's independence and fairness. Sometimes you may not get, like in our environment, you cannot guarantee anything because sometimes the judiciary independence here is not guaranteed. Do you understand? So sometimes there are interferences here and there. But it's better to do something than not to do at all. So let's look at some of the political strategies that you can put in place, like lobbying. You can do you understand? Lobby for something, lobby, right? Direct engagement with policymakers to influence legislation or policy decisions, all right? Policy advocacy. Just as some of our politicians, they are so very, very scarce. Sometimes to get access to them, very, very difficult. You visit office, you wait and wait and wait. At the end of the day, you will not see them. You write to their offices, no response. So sometimes it gets so tiring. I get a point now. It gets so tiring. It gets so tiring. You write to political offices, they are not responding. You go there to visit them, you not see anybody. Even to so policy advocacy, researching, drafting, and presenting policy recommendations to government. All right. Grassroots mobilization, organize community-driven campaigns to pressure politicians. Right. Public demonstrations, where it works effectively. Here, when you demonstrate, you experience counter violence. All right. These also are challenging because it requires access to political leaders and system. And of course, this is what I'm talking about. To assess them, it's not always easy. You write them, they don't respond. They have public contacts, but they never go through. Call their number, they will not go through. Yeah, can face resistance or backlash from entrenched political interests. So these are the issues. So case studies of successful human rights movement. Let's look at some of the case studies. Civil rights movement in US, 1950s to 1960s, objective to end racial segregation and discrimination against African Americans and secure civil rights under the law. Somehow they achieved this because these were the agitation by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in those days. Rosa Parks and Malcolm X. Malcolm X were the ones, and I think at some to some extent they achieved that. But even at that, we still have racial issues in America. You understand? But they were able to achieve major objectives, and that's why African Americans today uh, somehow to some extent are enjoying in that country. Do you understand? So anti-apartheid movement in South Africa, uh, this also was mega accomplishment. We talk about Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu, Steve Biko, all of them. I think they were the ones that even got the 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 uh, what do you call it? Nobel Peace Prize award. Do you understand? They all got that award. Do you understand? Because of the role they played to end appetite in South Africa. Do you understand? So that's to show you that what they did actually make a positive impact. And today, South Africa is going on suffrage movement global to secure voting rights for women. And of course, U.S. Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton were all part of this movement. And I think women are getting support across the board. Even in Saudi Arabia, women have been given the right to drive. Do you understand? We are still looking at the possibility of the gay child given opportunity to access education in Pakistan and no, not Pakistan, Afghanistan. Do you understand? And some other Muslim-related countries. Let gays go to school. It's not giving them into marriage at the tender age, and also let them go to school. Let them have access to educational system and let them change our society. They have potentials in them. They have skills. You understand? Amazing. Some of them that have the privilege to go to school, they're amazing women. They're doing amazing things globally. In Nigeria, we have ambassador to United Nations. It's a Muslim woman. It's a Muslim woman, and she's doing a lot representing the country. Where I get the point now. So I have several of them. So look at the Konjo Iweala from Nigeria. Talk about several women. A woman now is a president in Namibia. We have several women that are prime ministers. The Barbados prime minister is a woman. And look at the kind of speech she gave at the United Nations General Assembly meeting. Several of them are out there. Do you understand? So women should be supported and be encouraged. Do you understand? So this is what we're talking about here. So India independence movement that brought about the British colonial rule to an end in India. All of those things. We have Mahatma Gandhi that were there, and making sure that things work. So I'm just trying to rush through because our time is up. But when I give you the manual, you go through some of these things and get the details. All right. So thank you very much. And I don't know that I'll have time to take any questions if at all there's any. But there's several things that are there. So when I give you the manual, you go through it, and I believe that you see some of these things, read them and have comprehension. And then, of course, we talk about peace and conflict management examination. Is coming up by 8:30. This is 8:30 already. So I'm supposed to be distributing the links. So if you are a group leader in the leaders, the groups that we have groups, you reach out to me. I'll give you a link. You distribute to your members that have been active, and then you write your exams. So, but we wish you all the best in your exams. Yes, of course, the church. Okay, somebody is talking about something here. How important is prayer or spiritual ritual and peace building? The truth of the matter is that the church The spiritual, let me put the way, not just the church alone, the Muslim, the Islamic, the church, they have their own role that they are playing to promote peace. Do you understand? Let me tell you that in a community like in Nigeria, for instance, now where poverty is everywhere, where unemployment is everywhere, where ignorance is everywhere, if not for church and all these religious activities, I am telling you, Nigeria would have catch fire by now. But those religious activities have kept people busy and have, you know, reduced the tendencies to involve in violence. Do you understand? So the spiritual also contributes a lot. Prayers helps a lot to make sure that people's minds are being, you know, worked upon. Do you understand? Otherwise, with this poverty and with this harsh economy, no, 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 no. You cannot survive this kind. We cannot, if it's a way or other environment, we cannot survive it. Do you understand? People would have been protesting and causing trouble and so many things. Do you understand? So it's the prayer have its own impacts, right? And we cannot deny that impact. They are doing a lot job to make sure that we achieve what we have in our countries today. So thank you very much for bringing that matter. Shegun Akinde, I think it's helped a lot. Thank you very much. Any other? I don't think so. So I'll see you tomorrow by 7 p.m. I'm working on the manual. I will give it to you soon. So don't worry. All right.